Hello, friends of facts, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Science, where we present exciting research from scientific papers. With every video, we will take a look at another inspiring paper from the fields of sustainability, toxicology, chemistry, climate change, or nutrition. Today's topic is again alternatives to animal testing, but this time we will focus on the long road to animal-free chemical testing, with the regulatory acceptance of alternative test methods as a milestone. In 2012, Shifeles and co-authors published a paper on the regulatory acceptance and use of the so-called 3R methods. 3R stands for the reduction, replacement and refinement of animal testing. Therefore, 3R methods are also called alternative methods. In this video, you will find out which drivers push towards reforming the traditional animal-based system and which barriers protect it. You will also get some ideas how the regulatory acceptance of alternative methods might be improved in future. First, let's take a step back and find out why regulatory acceptance is important. In order to ensure environmental and human safety, chemicals must be tested before they can be commercially released. Since this is a requirement laid down in the laws for the regulation of chemicals, this process is called regulatory testing. Regulatory testing is conducted and paid for by industry, but critically evaluated by government-employed regulators. Traditionally, regulatory testing is conducted using animal experiments. In 2017, 23% of all animal tests in the EU were conducted for regulatory testing. The regulatory acceptance of alternative methods is therefore key to the reduction of animal testing. To find out what drives and prevents the regulatory acceptance of alternative methods, Shifeles and co-authors interviewed experts from EU and US regulatory authorities, industry and academia. In addition, they attended international meetings on regulatory testing. Then they condensed their findings into a multi-level model consisting of a niche, regime and landscape level. There are many drivers and barriers associated with each level. If you're interested in the full picture, just switch to the extended version of this paper presentation by clicking the link below. In the short version, we only provide some few but interesting examples. For example, a barrier associated with the niche level are the persons dealing with non-animal testing and regulatory toxicology and their past education and training. Many toxicologists have substantial experience in conducting and evaluating animal tests, but little practice with alternative test methods. At the same time, the advantages of alternative test methods are increasingly acknowledged. For example, in contrast to animal testing, they are often cheaper and more reproducible. At the regime level, the authors point out that there is an unequal distribution of information between regulators and industry. On the one hand, regulators have more in-depth knowledge on the relevant legal requirements and precise criteria concerning alternative method evaluation and acceptance. On the other hand, industry has more data and practical experience with the conduction and evaluation of alternative methods. As a final example, at the landscape level, we as the society support animal welfare, which is a strong driver for the regulatory acceptance of alternative methods. However, we also fear taking even the smallest risk, especially when it comes to our health. Consequently, we also act as a barrier. The authors advise 3 main steps to improve the regulatory acceptance of alternative methods. First, the unequal distribution of information between industry and regulators shall be minimized by encouraging industry to share their data and by offering alternative method training to regulators. At the same time, we need to create platforms where regulators and industry can share their experience and knowledge and discuss in a neutral setting. Second, the authors suggest to gradually grow new methods out of old ones, and to accept that in many cases, several alternative methods need to be combined to replace one animal test. Third, we need more individuals or organizations which act as risk-taking actors or boundary spanners and who are willing to take a certain risk or connect and mediate between parties. That was quite a fast ride through the complicated world of regulatory toxicology and non-animal testing. For now, we will leave this topic behind and give it a rest. Coming up next is diets and how sustainable and friendly to the environment they are. Have a look at the link in the lower right corner if you're interested. For references and further reading, please see the video's description, which refers to the numbers and brackets throughout the presentation. Finally, we appreciate every like and comment. Tell us your opinion. What else do you think is important to speed up alternative method acceptance? Thanks for watching and see you soon.